Hello, lovers of celebrity stories and real-life romances. Welcome to Turkish series Stars, the place where we follow every whisper, every twist, and every heart-stopping reveal from the world of showbiz. Today we are bringing a story that no one saw coming, the kind of bombshell that flips timelines and has everyone texting their friends to ask, "Did you see this?" Yes, you read that headline right, and yes, this is the update everyone is buzzing about. We're talking about Barış, Arduç and Elçin Sangu. Buckle up, because what we're going to share unfolds like a television drama, but it's grounded in the very real, very private lives of two actors millions have adored for years. If you're the kind of viewer who loves peeking behind the curtain, who gets hooked on the unexpected, and who savors every detail, you are absolutely in the right place. And to make sure you never miss our exclusives, subscribe to Turkish series Stars and turn on the notification bell so you're in the front row the moment a new episode of this ongoing saga drops. You won't want to miss a beat. Now to the heart of it. December 7th, 2025, a date that will be remembered by fans as the day everything changed. What began as a whisper sped through timelines with the kind of velocity only a truly seismic update can produce. For anyone who needs a refresher, Barış and Elçin are two of the most celebrated Turkish actors of their generation. Their careers took flight long ago, and whether together or apart, their projects create waves. Their screen partnership in Karalık Aşk didn't just cement them as household names, it lit a spark in viewers that has smoldered ever since. Their chemistry wasn't just strong, it was iconic. It inspired fan art, trending hashtags, and endless debates about whether the magic was limited to scripts or slipping into reality. For years, hope lingered. Could the on-screen connection be grounded in something deeper? There were moments, shared laughs behind the scenes, sly glances, quiet support during career milestones, that kept the speculation alive. But love in real life doesn't obey scripts, and celebrity lives rarely flow in straight lines. They were friends, collaborators, two stars circling in the same universe. The question, are they together or just close, never truly faded. And then came what many are now calling the revelation of the year. According to sources that fans have learned to lend credence to, sources well connected in both Turkish and international entertainment, Barış and Elçin took a step no one expected them to take in such a low-key way. The term everyone is whispering, wedding. That's right. A ceremony held in secret, intimate and carefully guarded, far from the riotous energy of red carpets and flashing bulbs. No staged coverage. No public countdown. Just a vow, if the reports are correct, shared in the kind of privacy that feels almost rebellious in this era of constant exposure. Picture the collective gasp as the rumor surfaced, quickened, and then reverberated across social feeds and entertainment sites. Screens lit up, timelines pulsed, comments flooded in. The story, as it has emerged, points to a location carefully chosen for seclusion. Some say an idyllic hideaway within Turkey, others insist it was abroad, somewhere so peaceful it could swallow a secret whole. The guest list, allegedly, was tiny, just immediate family and a few friends they trust completely. No spectacle, no pageantry, no cascade of industry names. A moment kept close and sheltered by a pact of silence. How could something so monumental slip past the radar? That's the question echoing across fandom spaces, and the answers point to a pattern. Both Barış and Elçin have always been protective of their private lives, especially where their hearts are involved. They show up for their craft, for their fans, and for their projects, but the spaces between those appearances are guarded. They've drawn the line with care, and if these whispers are true, they've now drawn it in bold. They chose a step that belongs to them, not to the public. And somehow, against the odds, they managed to keep that step quiet long enough for it to take root without interruption. The reaction has been instant and intense. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok have been jolted awake by theories, tributes, and delight. Some fans are celebrating what they see as destiny finally catching up with what their hearts always suspected. Others are still processing the quietness of it all, surprised that two of the biggest names in Turkish entertainment might have opted for such an under-the-radar celebration. And then there are the playful laments, the memes about not being invited, the mock wedding playlists, the lovingly dramatic comedic takes that only superfans can craft. The emotions across the board are loud: joy, disbelief, nostalgia for Karalik Ask, and a renewed sense of curiosity. What led to the decision to keep it so private? Was this a plan long in motion, timed perfectly between obligations? Or was it a spontaneous promise made during a moment of pure happiness that they wanted to keep untouched by the world? At this point, much of what we have is speculation. The strongest whispers come from sources that rarely miss, which gives this story weight. But the silence from the center, the refusal to fan the flames, has added mystery to the moment. What cannot be denied is the magnitude of the impact. Because for years, their names have meant something beyond the sum of their roles. Barış and Elçin are not just actors, they're style benchmarks, culture shapers, and for many, the embodiment of slow-burn romance. Their red carpet grace and grounded humor have made them simultaneously aspirational and relatable. When they share a frame, the world notices. And now, with talk of a hidden ceremony, they're right back in the hot light of collective curiosity, even as the event itself was staged in the dark. What does this mean for their careers? Likely, very little, at least for now. They both have projects lined up, calendars that don't leave much room for drift, and fans who have never needed their support explained to them. Professionally, the train keeps moving. Personally, though, the calculus might be shifting. If they did commit, this could mark a new chapter, one with new decisions about how much to share and how much to fold away. Will they open up more, letting us see a little of the life behind the gloss? Or will they double down on privacy, letting the work remain their primary message to the world? Time is the only sure narrator here. What's undeniable is the way this news has rekindled a particular kind of hope. It's the same hope that sparked during the Karalik Ask era, when their scenes made viewers hold their breath and believe in quiet glances. It's the dream that perhaps every once in a while, the line between fiction and reality thins just enough for something tender and true to slip across. Whether you've rooted for them since their earliest collaborations or came to the fandom later, this moment feels like a page turning. The reports paint vivid images, even without photos to confirm anything. A secluded courtyard dressed simply, warm light falling across stone. A set of vows murmured to a tiny circle. Wardrobe choices more about feeling than spectacle, elegant, yes, but free of the heavy symbolism of the spotlight. A celebration measured by the quiet of it, by the faces present rather than the flashbulbs popping. The absence of public opulence is precisely what makes the whispers so arresting. In a world that documents everything, they may have chosen to keep the one moment that belongs to only them. Fans are parsing every detail. Some are scouring posts from close friends, looking for overlaps in travel. Others are revisiting interviews, wondering if subtle hints were dropped in plain sight. A comment here, a glance there, a sudden stretch of silence on a platform they normally frequent. It's the detective work fandoms excel at, and it's happening at full speed. Meanwhile, those who've watched Barış and Elçin evolve over the years point to the steady respect they've always shown each other, the easy laughter, the gracious answers when asked about their partnership, the way they've deflected invasive questions without feeding frenzy. There's also the fashion angle, a conversation no one can resist when it comes to them. Even with no confirmed photos, fans are imagining what they might have worn. Perhaps something tailored and minimal for him, textured elegance for her, hair and makeup that whisper rather than shout. The fantasy is fueled by their track record. When they appear, they set the tone. They've long been icons of a refined, unforced style. The irony is that the most important looks of their lives might have been chosen for an audience of a dozen. And the timing? That's another thread. December carries its own kind of poetry. Ending a year with a vow makes a kind of emotional sense, a closing and an opening stitched together. Did they choose the date because it fit their schedules, because the location they loved was finally free, or because it felt right in a way calendars can't capture. The story, as it's told by these whispers, lives in those kinds of questions. But regardless of the answer, fans have already marked the day. December 7th, 2025, has taken on a glow. So where does this leave us? Waiting. Watching. Listening for the slightest shift. Will they confirm with a simple note and a single photo, the way some couples quietly do? Will they leave the speculation alone, trusting that their silence is answer enough? Or will this remain a legend in the fandom, a story passed down as a maybe that feels like a yes? Whatever happens, the respect for their boundary seems to be holding. Even in the rush, even in the frenzy, there's a current of understanding. If they chose privacy, it's because that's how the moment mattered most to them. Before we close, it's worth remembering how this all began for so many of us, two actors sharing a set, building characters that became part of people's daily lives. What they built on screen taught audiences to look for the soft things, the small gestures, the kind of romance that doesn't need to shout to be heard. Today's whispers feel like a continuation of that story. Maybe, in the end, the greatest romances are the ones that unfold where they can breathe, even when the world is watching from just beyond the door. And with that, we come to the end of this chapter in a saga that isn't finished. We've walked through the reports, the reaction, the questions, and the possibilities. The conversation will continue, the theories won't stop. But for now, we leave the last word to time, and to them. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want to keep traveling with us through every twist and reveal, give this video a like. Your support helps Turkish series stars reach more people who love the same stories you do. Tell us what you think. Do you believe the whispers? Are you surprised they might have chosen intimacy over spectacle? What moment made you feel that this could be real? Your comments are the heartbeat of this community, and we read every one. And if you haven't yet, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what comes next. Thank you for staying with us until the end. We'll be back soon, with more surprises, more exclusives, and more stories that keep your heart racing. Until next time.